Alrighty, so let's talk about the finale for The Walking Dead Season 10, the true finale, finally. This is now officially the final episode of these 6 new episodes, one that I am just so excited for. This week is going to be so much fun. This trailer alone, there is so much here to talk about. Like, there's one scene in particular that I have to do another video on it because I can't believe he's returning to that location. There's so many scenes already that I'm going to focus on those things, and I'm probably going to keep those things separate. Like, besides episode 17, this is the only episode where there's actually a lot to talk about because there's so much Easter eggs, there's so much little things. Like, the last few episodes, especially tonight's episode, Diverge, there was nothing to talk about. That's why I never posted a non-spoiler review. I've been seeing a lot of comments on that. I didn't post one because I just didn't care to post that. I'm still working on my Invincible review for episodes 2 and 3. And I was like, you know what? I'm a little more interested in Invincible right now and doing that over Diverged. So I'm sure you can just wait until my spoiler review. I mean, no one really cared for the episode anyways. Anyways, let's talk about this here. So before we go any further, obviously, if you are new here and you do want more Walking Dead content like this, just make sure to be a subscriber. After next Sunday, Fear the Walking Dead is going to be on. We got a Commonwealth teaser tonight, and I'm planning to do a video on that because it does tease a lot of new Commonwealth stuff, specifically with Yumiko. But more than that, next week, I am expecting potentially some new footage. So I want to talk about that because, yeah, they've released teasers every single Sunday, and I'm wondering if they're building up to the season 10 finale where they're going to release like a 30-second teaser with a release date or something, and it teases the final season, right? Because it's coming this summer. So we'll cover Fear the Walking Dead until that ends, but I imagine in July or August, literally in just a few months, that's when the final season comes out. Before then, the trailer's coming out, and the next month or two, they're filming the Rick Grimes movie, so they're going to have a lot of on-set photos for that, and titles, release dates, and stuff. So if you want all my videos on that, breaking down all the information as it comes in, just make sure to hit subscribe. So with the trailer here, the first new shot that we got of it is this shot here of Lucille and Negan. This looks like it is most likely in the apocalypse. I think most of it is in the apocalypse. I think there's going to be some scenes, though, where it is pre-apocalypse, where Lucille finds out that she's ill and stuff like that. I don't know if we're going to see it initially when Negan first sees a walker for the first time. I would like to see that. I think it would be pretty cool, but I think they'll show her reaction to finding out she's ill and then Negan's reaction and what they just do with that, and then they might fast forward a year or a certain amount of months and then we pick up right here kind of thing. Like she's been living without, I guess, any kind of treatment, or maybe she's having treatment done, but she's running out. Like she knows because it is the apocalypse, the world's not going back together. What does she do now, right? Like, and I think that's going to be an interesting take because we never really had a character go through that in the beginning of the apocalypse. And so I think that's where this is taking place here. And Negan, I mean, he seems, just from the trailers anyways, he seems like he's an awesome husband taking care of her. He's a good person. And I want to know what happened. We have this shot here of Negan, and obviously this is in the flashback. This actually looks connected to this shot right here of Negan, where he has the gas can here, and I think he's just going out looking for fuel. I'm assuming for the generator, because there's a generator that they keep going to have, I guess, power to their house and stuff. And so I think that's what this is related to. This is just one of those trips that he's going on. And yeah, we then get this shot here of Lucille and Negan, and they're in bed and they're just focusing on this night. I think Negan is just taking it all in. And they're just together here. This is probably later on that night because Negan has a gray shirt on. Lucille's also wearing the same thing in the scene that I just talked about. So I think, yeah, it makes sense. And I think Negan just took his jacket off because you can kind of see it here. He does have like a gray t-shirt on underneath. So I think this scene will happen first. Then they'll cut to this scene here and then it just kind of ends. We then have this shot here of Negan and he chucks a bottle of, I guess, alcohol, water, whatever the hell it is at the chair. And it's probably because he saw the savior Negan. Like he looked at the jacket and potentially Lucille, and he's hearing the little pig, let me in, and he's frustrated by it, right? Because I guess he doesn't like that part of his past, and so he just chucks the bottle out of frustration. We have this shot here of Negan with a gun, and he has the same outfit on from where he makes Lucille. It's interesting that he doesn't have Lucille yet. Like this is Negan early on in the apocalypse trying to survive, and it's kind of cool because he seems scared of walkers like that, and potentially there could be a gang out there, so he's kind of sneaking around here. It's just interesting to see him like this because he's not really equipped to survive here. Like the character now is so different out there. I guess there are less people in the world, so it's probably why, but still early on he's not as confident as he becomes. And like I want to just point that out because here he seems like he's running from something. He's a little scared, he's worried. And then you get to this shot at the very end here where he's holding Lucille and he just has that look on his face. Like, he is Savior Negan at this point. Like, here's Negan, right? Like, this is where that transformation happens. And so I can't wait to see what's going to happen, because at this point, he just looks like he's taken up that personality. He's become something entirely different from what he was. And at this point, he just doesn't care. Obviously, I think it's that gang that he has here. He probably Lucille'd someone here. Lucille does say in the beginning of the trailer that they need more people, but Negan says, no, we don't, because people are too dangerous. So Lucille, she wants them to have more people so they can feel a little more safe. But Negan's like, no, you can't trust people. We got to stay alone, kind of thing. And just, I really want to see the moment that he realizes we can use people to our advantage, right? I can have followers. And how does that happen? How does he get that much of a following? If you think of the Savior group, they all said, I'm Negan, right? How did you brainwash those people like that? How were you that successful in doing that? I want to see how this plays out, and I hope we get into some of that stuff in this episode. Like, this episode's gonna be so good. But then we have this shot here of Negan, and this looks like this is probably a lot later. He's now made Lucille. He doesn't have any barbed wire. I'm guessing he gets it from that fence because he's like clipping the top of it. I'm guessing, yeah, there's barbed wire on top. So that's probably where he gets it. He's wrapping it around the bat. And yeah, this is the formation of Lucille. But see, like I pointed it out in my other like scene breakdown video. The thing is about this, I don't think he has any connection to the bat yet. He makes the bat because it's practical for him to use, and maybe he can kill walkers. It's good because with a gun, you're going to run out of ammunition. With a bat, especially with barbed wire on it, like you have some range with that. Not as much range as like with a gun, obviously, but you don't have to rely on finding ammunition and all of that. So this bat really starts off as just being very practical for him. But at some point, he starts to relate the bat with Lucille. So does Lucille say something to him when she's dying? Does she like, I don't think it's going to play out like that, but like I keep picturing she tells him that I will always be here. I will be in this bat or something. Like, how does he start to relate the bat with Lucille? What I'm thinking is like Lucille, like I said, she mentions in the trailer here that we need to get more people and etc. She seems to be like the confidence for him. And so I think that's where the relation comes. After she dies, Lucille, like the bat, gives her, or not her, him, gives him like the confidence to kill people, I guess. And then he just starts to relate the bat with Lucille. It's something like maybe she used it. Maybe it was her bat. Maybe it was something she had when she was a kid, or there's some, you know what I mean? I just can't wait for the moment where he starts to call her, that bat, his dirty girl. And, you know, I hope at the end of the episode, like I know there's going to be some stuff there with Negan and most likely like some current day timeline stuff. That could be the true ending. But I hope that near the end, we get that last scene where he's just like, he becomes Negan. You know, just like any villain, like you see the rise of a villain or the fall, depending on your point of view. I can't wait to get this. We then have this shot. It's just kind of another shot of Negan walking out. And then we get this shot here, which I can't believe we are returning to. It's so weird to feel nostalgic for something for season 8, but I do. I can't, like, first of all, what is that? Is that like a glass pane window type thing? Or like, why is that still, it's not a window, is it? Is that a curtain? No, that makes sense. I don't know what that is. Why is that still on the tree however many years later? I guess it's the apocalypse, so it's not like people are going there to take it, because why would you need it, right? But it's crazy to be returning here. It is so insane that we are returning to the spot. And like this is something I want to do a video on, because like, again, I've talked about so much stuff from the trailer here. I gotta talk about this. I want to talk about the ending to All Out War and tie it into this. I'll have to do a video tomorrow or the next day on this, because this is pretty big. We are returning to a season 8 location. It's been 8 to 9 years since Negan's been here. And from what it seems like in this shot here, he comes here and he has a shovel with him. He's looking for Lucille. That's why he came out here. He is looking for her. He's trying to think of where she could have been, because when his neck got sliced open by Rick, he was in this location. The bat would have came here. I think he just digs around. I literally think the Lucille bat was just left in the field. I actually think that's going to be the explanation. The bat was just left in the field. No one cared to pick it up, and it literally just sat there. vegetation just kind of grew over it. Grass got longer, got tangled. It's been 8 years. It makes sense that it would be hidden in there. Like, I think of forts I made as a kid in like the field, because I grew up in the country, and there was a lot of stuff that we had in just the field and like tall grass and stuff. And like a few years later, even now, if you go back there, that stuff is like buried underneath. It's sunken in. So yeah, and then we get this shot here of the carpet. So he burns down the house. That's why the house is on fire. I think he's just burning down his old self. Like, Lucille dies. The house that they had together is just kind of gone to him. And now he is going to be whatever he needs to be to survive. He's just at a point where he just doesn't care if he dies now. He's just like, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and do this. I'm a different person now. And so I think that's why he takes on that personality or that persona, right? And it's kind of tragic if you think about what happens later on and how I'll say some of the fan base treat him because of it. And so yeah, I can't wait for this episode. I think everyone's going to love it. I know I'm going to love it. And I get to watch it in like 4 days from now. So I'm so excited. So post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.